Wow. Okay, guys, we're going to get kind of started. I'm going to go a little slow to start to make sure anybody who's kind of a straggler can come in. But this is going to be a weekly thing. Fridays, we're going to call it the little TXC Payday Friday kind of deal. The priority focus is going to be about market structure, how the exchanges are working, what exchanges to use, and which one we like, and all that stuff. How these are affecting um, TXC's price. We can go into ISK, Iskander. They're the same ecosystem. They're not the same network. So as we're learning that and the verbiage and stuff, we'll make sure that we have the right proper crypto verbiage for when we're talking about these different layers. The downtown digital dollar, how that could affect TXC and the utility that that one brings and others bring. So we'll go into a lot of that stuff weekly. I know right now a lot of people are really excited about the bot activity, and they saw how much that impacted the market. And that's something I've been stressing for a little while is that TXC doesn't have a lot of sell pressure or a broken downtrend or anything like that. It really is just a lack of participation in the buying side. And as a lot of the community is learning how to self invest and how to trade and how to buy and investing wise, one of the greatest tools that is these sort of automated uh, systems that you can use, and it's not automated in the way that it's going to like make trades as like an actual trader, or it's acting symbiotic like a bot. What it's doing is automatically replacing your orders. So we'll get into that and make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of how to set them up and the benefit that they're going to bring to thin markets like TXC, as well as how TXC itself is benefited. So I do got a little PowerPoint that I want to show everybody first. Let's see, what screen am I going to make sure I show? We're going to show this one with me in it, and you can see me in the background. Let's see how this looks. All right, cool. So we're going to jump into this and start from the first slide. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Let me go back. We're just going to discuss these things, make sure that everybody's comfortable and has a good understanding of what we got. The whole payday isn't about the price. That isn't. We're not forcing any kind of participation to where you're buying, and we're not guaranteeing any profit. We're just making sure that you are comfortable with the market and you have a familiarity so that you can make these decisions and grow them. So um, the first year. So really, if you look at TXC on the exchange side, even though it's a 2-year project, really on the exchange side, it's only had a life cycle of about a year. And when the first year happens for these projects, all cryptos go through this cycle where they have to determine one, if they're going to be able to go forward and continue their project and their build out, and they have the plan and to go forth and commit to that. But the big thing that everybody looks at when they're looking at the success of it, how they determine it as an outsider coming in, typically is price. And price doesn't always necessarily mean success right away. So take that with a grain of salt, but there's a price discovery system. And you can go, and it goes into everything. Equities have the same thing. When any company comes on and does an IPO, they drop it, and it's a scatter and a run for everybody to try to figure out what the price is, because there's huge buy demand. So anytime it's brand new to the market, we'll probably see this with ISK in the beginning as well. There'll be a straight up trajectory because it's at the bottom. Everybody knows on the rollout this is as low as it's going to be, and there's a demand surge that pushes the price up until the point of where people start slowing down on like, ooh, I don't know if I want to buy it anymore. Maybe I need to sell it. And then as soon as the sell happens, there's typically a domino where it avalanches down, finds that basin, and then everybody's like, whoa, 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 this is a good project. This is the value that we want to start it at. And then there becomes a rush again to buy it back up. It's always a follow the leader kind of thing. And the trigger happens and the movement is quick. But during this price discovery is the liquidity formation, and there's a lot of ways that you can hear liquidity, and it has multiple meanings. You have like a liquidity as like a store of value or an asset protection, which TXC is using in Bitcoin, Ethereum, the USDC, of course, real estate, and that is to help support and gold and silver as well. That's a big important one as they ran up like crazy. Those are not what we'd call active liquidity or even like fluid liquidity. The liquidity is also the ability for it to be bought and sold, and that is what's on the active exchanges. Um, kind of as the pool. So like think of those store of values as like the dam, and they protect it and hold up that value, and they can either add or release that liquidity back and forth to prop it up. But the biggest thing that you have to find is what is the volume consistency, and the volume is the participation of not only the community from within that's participating in the project, but that outside participants who are coming in as potential participants. And once the volume is consistent and growing, that's the direction that you'll see. So, and then a lot of people that are new into the project are going to have to learn how the market dynamics and where the terms, the support and resistance and all those zones come in. But early volatility is not a failure. We're just discovering the price. So that's your first year. So let's look at Bitcoin, the OG, the Godfather. This was their first year. This is kind of the cool thing about going on Friday is everybody's already had their turn to do their Zoom calls. Tim started to mention this on the Thursday one, showing the range and how they worked out. Back in the very beginning, Bitcoin was being mined and nobody knew if it had its value or substance, and the price showed that it was in the red for majority of the time until a couple months in, and then it took off a little bit. And then there's always that initial run up, and then the selling triggers. But eventually, it's discovered again, price runs up again. And this was Bitcoin at $34, and Bitcoin is far past the $34. Litecoin, this is the one that TXC is actually a fork of, in the red for the first 6-7 months, negative in price from what it started on the exchanges. Then a huge run up and crash, and that was then it's discovered this is all the way back at $10, and now Litecoin is $63. Ethereum in the red for the first 6-7 months. Again, same thing, runs up, finds a tipping point. People start selling because they decide they don't want to buy anymore, falls back until the community comes in and says, no, this is the value we're buying and we're pushing forward. Solana is a huge one that has had massive run-ups and massive pullbacks because it's a big utility coin. But again, red for the first 4 months. And then Texacoin, its first year, no red. It did have the big run-up and the big pullback. But in my eyes, I think we are starting to find that basin and proof that early volatility and the thin liquidity is the reason why we had the sharp spike and the sharp pullback. From outsiders and people who are not in, they're always going to judge. They're going to judge last. They're going to do told you so, knew it wasn't going to work. But they're also the same ones that were, when it was going up, taking off like crazy, saying, I wish I was in that. So there's a lot of people who are hindsight because they need that confirmation. They're not going to see it at $2 until they see it at $1.99. They're not going to see it at $1 until they see it at 101, maybe even. So that's kind of a big thing that we see in markets is just confirmation, uncertainty, and doubt. And it's always easy to try to point in saying, I told you so. But we're not trying to predict the price. We're not saying this is the bottom and now it's going to go up, so time to get in now. But the investors and people who buy into these crypto projects, the ones that make money are not the ones that buy last. The ones that buy on the way down are the ones that profit on the way up. And consistent activity is how you build these projects to have that support and be a positive onlook for those outside, call them liquidity adders, those people that could come in from the outside and bring in some money. So as the consistency come up, you'll see that they become a better value and a better deal. And the project benefits from things like better liquidity, a deeper pool, reduced spreads. One of the hard things about creating transactions is if the spread is really big. And we'll talk about the spread when we get over to the market side of it. Volume stability, that consistency, the 24 hours, how much is being bought and sold every single day. Grid bots, market makers, and active communities all play a vital role in this. So that is my little intro slide. And let me see where I'm at. Get this guy out of here. Let's move this over here. So let's jump over and let's check out some market stuff. Reshare my this one background again. Let me see, is it running up? There we go. All right, so this is WeBot. When you're looking at TXC, it's an American mined currency. So kind of a cool thing is that it's on some American friendly exchanges. When you look at which exchanges it's on, you can go to Coin Market Cap. We're going to go by volume. You see Bitmart and Mexi are the top two. Dextrade being number 3. That was the original exchange that it was on. And that's also a lot of times why when you look at the price history, it's very hard to say that all of this is indicative of a continued price that it has to move in that range. When you look at Bitmart being not US friendly, Mexi, a little bit more US friendly, but kind of tricky. These ones you have to do, you could do some spot trading in some areas in the US, but not really US friendly. Dextrade, if you do the KYC, you're not able to use it in the US. So it took a while before the US exchanges came, which made that the price adoption was very difficult to set. It wasn't until September, I think, Biconomy was in August, and then the rest were September, October. So Biconomy, Pionex, or WeBot, and then WeX are the 3 US friendly exchanges, and they all came in between September and late August, and November was the last one. And you can see that WeX isn't even on here yet. And then, sorry, dog hair. So this price is a little bit more conditioned and organic, but it's still not very true because we haven't found that basin where the community has stepped in and said this is valuable and the buying pressure is going to exceed the selling, because there's always selling, especially in a coin like Texacoin and ISK. There's going to be a lot of selling dominance early. It's a proof of work coin, meaning that it's mined. It has to be mined in order to be created. And then it's mined from zero. There's no pre-mine. There's no initial listing. So on day one, there's 0 coins. After all the blocks are mined, there's your supply. The only way that they come onto the market is by offering a sale transaction first. And that's what those nudges were in the early day, was enticing people to put their coins on the market. So the need to be sold was what it was. If there was more selling here, which could have created more buying opportunities, these prices could have been more, these levels could have been more built in. So think of like these are built with toothpicks because there's such thin liquidity, and we're building with, solid foundations and truss beams over here now. So these prices going into the future are going to be much more sustainable. And so one of the things that you're going to see on some of these other exchanges, like if we go to Biconomy, just to see it, we're not going to trade on it, but I just want to show you guys that the spread. So the spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. Some people call it the mid. Some people call it, have different terms for what it is, but basically the spread is the difference. So this 61,205 is the lowest ask that somebody is willing to sell for. This right here is the 0.60632. That is the highest that somebody's willing to buy for. So there is a middle of 61,077. But even that order is not filling because this is the lowest that somebody's willing to sell for. So that difference is the spread. When you narrow that spread, you get more transactions. When there's a big spread, you go a lot of time with no volume. And when there's no volume showing up, this is offsetting to people who are trading or investing or trying to buy in. What we're building by doing these bots is for people who are who don't have the familiarity or the time to consistently put in these orders, like the market makers are doing, and creating these very low spreads. As you see, this one's only 61.5. 61.35. So this spread is 0.0007 difference versus 0.001. So quite a bit of a narrower spread, meaning that a transaction can actually happen here. And even then, we still go through times of zero volume. As you can see right here on this little ticker, this whole window, there was no volume. And that's just indicative of TXC in a very early stage. So when we set these bots up, the bots are going to basically set up orders for us so that they, even when we're not on the computer, not on the exchange, orders can be completed. They don't guarantee profit. There still has to be directional flow of the price. So you got to remember that. The cool thing is that they're going to average down for you and going to get you the best value. So that if you are trying to accumulate coins and buy coins, you're not immediately going to, if you're like, I don't know if I want to get in at 0.61, what if it goes down to 0.6? Well, the bot's automatically buying for you if it pulls back a little bit too, to make sure that you get a good value for when it goes up. So not all exchanges offer these bots, but you can go in and they are other variances of these AI trading bots. There's subscription ones you can buy yearly. You can download a program and subscribe to anybody. And they do more of like a give us USDT or USDC, we'll trade it for you. And you'll be participating in a bunch of other programs and projects, probably not TXC because of its volume being lower. But as a community, if we're trying to build the volume to make sure that this is an attractive pool for people to come swim in, adding in this money and being comfortable knowing that it's not going to just tank and you're not going to immediately buy at the wrong price, the bot will do that for you. So that's where that benefit is. And hopefully it gives you the confidence to come in and add some liquidity and come in with some participation. So I'm using Weebot just because it's the company themselves. It was Pionex.com for the international users. Pionex.us is the US based one. And I'm assuming that people were going to the wrong one and then figuring out that they couldn't use it, so they weren't downloading. So the guys at Pionex were like, hey, we got to rebrand and come up with something that is different for the US people so that they know we're real. And they got Weebot.com. So if you go on to Weebot, we're going to go through and here's your wallet, here's your account, here's orders that you have and all that stuff. Wallet to make sure that you have money on it if you need to bring some in and such. You can also come straight over here to deposit with a debit card, or you could do a wire transfer or a bank account. When you look at these exchanges, Weebot and Bitmart and Mexi and Biconomy and XT, those are tier 2 exchanges. The rest of the exchanges that TXC is our tier 3, meaning that if they don't have their reserves audited or checked, verified, they don't give a full order book to CoinMarketCap. They're just lower end and not the same quality in the eyes of CoinMarketCap and some of these other grading systems. And that's why you look at a tier 2 with Pionex, Biconomy, XT, and Mexi in those. But even being a tier 2, they're still smaller than the tier 1s like Coinbase or Kraken or any of these other main ones. So their banking backup is not as strong. So the downfall is if you do a bank account or an ACH transfer, it says it's 4 to 10 days. I think the initial one's supposed to be 14 days. I've heard it taking much longer for some people, kind of depending on the amount and how long your account's been set up. And that's just a downfall of them being a little bit smaller. The way around that is you can still use them for the trading part to help with TXC, but use one of the tier 1s like Coinbase, which has a better banking system to get your funds on and off, and then use the Weebot or Pionex as with USDC or USDT back and forth on that. So one that I use is I actually use Robinhood. And if you've been following me on my YouTube channel, I've been day trading. I started this account back on December 23rd with $335, and in January I added another 100, and I've already withdrawn like 4,000 or something. Let me see. I don't know if it shows it anymore. But I've been day trading this with options, and then I take my money and I go buy TXC with it every day. That's why I'm using Robinhood. I don't really like Robinhood as far as a trading platform for options, but they're really cool because they bridge stocks with crypto. So I can come in here and say I want to buy some USDC, and I got $2,000 that I set aside for this. So we're going to go with 1,000, and we're going to buy my USDC. Review order, make sure that I want that. Commit. So this would be the same thing if you're doing on Coinbase. You buy USDC, and then voila, we're done. And so I can come over here now to my Weebot account and say that I want to receive crypto. This is the best way to bring it on, is to buy it on Robinhood or Coinbase or Kraken or your tier one. And I want to receive crypto. It automatically is going to default to USDT. So you just come here and make sure that you get to the right one, and you will search it. We're going to do USDC. Pay attention. There we go. USDC. So when you have USDC, these are your networks that you can transfer on to this wallet. You could do Ethereum, Solana, or Base. If you're using Coinbase, I recommend doing Base. For Robinhood, I'm going to use Solana. It's a little bit cheaper than. So I'm going to send my 1,000, and I need my address. I forgot to copy it. So right here, if you're doing it from phone to computer, you can use this handy dandy QR code, or just copy and then come back over and paste it into my address. And then you hit continue. It's going to ask you to pick which network you're using on this. Again, if you're using Coinbase, I recommend using Base. I'm going to use Solana on Robinhood. And it's going to verify that I'm doing Solana. And I make sure that I did I did not do Solana. Uh-oh. Edit. Cancel that. Almost made a mistake. Corey, why didn't you catch me on that? Copy.
I like
Make
when
sure
you
you're on
learn
the
from your own
same-
mistakes.
Almost. All right, we gotta double check. Solana, same network, copy. It's worth double checking before you send it off into cyberspace. There we go. That looks right. It's probably why I was doing the goofy little death spin. It was like, you're using the wrong. There it goes. It should verify 1,000 Solana 0.04. It cost me 4 cents to send that. Isn't that crazy? Now I have to go check on my phone, make sure I'm not sending it to somebody else. Yes, it's me. Goodbye, USDC. I should sell this real quick before I get stuck. Oh, it crashed. Never mind. Not going to sell that. You guys almost got a little deep dive into the day trading life. So as we wait for that to come in, sometimes it's really quick and sometimes it takes a little minute. Once you have it in here, what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to convert it. It's a handy little tool to make sure that we get the right one. But I just want to kind of show you guys, one, how short the life of TXC is on Pinex or Weebot. You can see it came in on October 24th. And unfortunately, we've been in a downtrend. But this chart is a lot more different than the one that you see on CoinMarketCap, because CoinMarketCap shows that magical run up to 7, and everybody thinks that this is a failure because that $7 is gone and they feel that they missed out. If anything, we could look at that as a look to the future. We have insight on what price levels TXC is likely going to move to, and they set them up here on these little shelves for us. One of the things that you'll see is whenever the price goes horizontal for a while, this is called consolidation. And this is that built of support. So back here it was toothpicks. Over here, when we're building it, it's going to be with that a sturdier foundation. So we can just draw a couple lines across this just to kind of set some areas that are benchmarks of goals of where we want to see it come to in the future. And while everybody is really upset that we didn't get an all sell here, this would have been impossible for everyone to sell at if everybody tried to, because nobody would have placed a buy order and at that price. And that's why the price came down so sharply. And this is what the bots are going to save us from. Because when you look at the market again being so thin, if somebody came in with $500 and just bought all this order up, the price would sit there for 1 second and then immediately fall back down into this, because none of these would move up on another exchange. With PINX at least, or WeBot, we are automatically, as these sell, the price will automatically come in back underneath it to create more transactions. So let me see if my transfer is there. It looks like it is. All of a sudden I got richer. $1,000. Okay. So trade, convert. We're going to go into our USDC, make sure that matches. And then on most exchanges, TXC is paired with USDT. Biconomy and XT, and then if you're doing the WTXC, the wrap token, those are USDC based. So we're going to convert the max, and I'm going to lose $1 or something probably. Wait, I went too fast. I'm going to lose $5, $4 and some change. Convert. Never takes 20 seconds. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna set my bot up after you guys because I'm a nice guy and I'm gonna make sure that all your guys' bots start in profit. So if anybody's gonna follow along and set this up, I'm not gonna start mine until afterwards. But a couple things when you're looking at, when you click over here on the left to make sure that you're on bot and bringing up all your options, these are all the different types of bots that they offer. And again, don't think of it as like a super AI computer that's going to manually make a whole bunch of trades and do a bunch of craziness. It's basically just automating orders for you. So the most popular one are GridBot, Martingale, and rebalancing. The GridBot is the one that we're going to be talking about. That's one that just automatically is trying to buy low, sell high, and keep building. You're going to give it a range to operate. It'll operate in that. You look up here and you see these fancy TXC grid AI strategy infinity grids. And you're like, well, that one uses AI. Why don't I just use that one so it's always working? It does not, it's not AI trading. It's AI suggestions based on the last 7 days. So if you look at the last week, this is what basically WeBot sent this chart into ChatGPT, and based on this price flow, it came up and said, hey, you should use these parameters. This is what would be profitable in this price. You can do that. And I don't know if it's a bias on PINX, but it's typically a higher grid count. And when we talk about the grid count, I'll just jump into that now. More grids is more transactions. As you can see, the profit per grid on a 200 grid strategy is 0.13% per transaction. Seems small, but it's going to do a ton of them. So it's going to stack up a bunch. But one thing to look at that I would keep in mind for what you're setting for yours is the price range that it thinks that you should be in. I don't think we're going to go to 0.34, but that's because you have the higher your grid count, you should also have a wider range. When you have lower grid count, you should have lower range on your price range. But that one's going to be expensive. When you do a bigger grid count and a bigger range, you're going to need more funds to cover it. And to make sure that everybody's going to be able to participate at any level, whether it be $25 or $250 or $2,000, you want to be able to make sure you set your range accordingly. That infinity strategy basically is range. It has no range. It's just going to always have grids and it's going to move. So for that one, in regards to somebody who said like, yeah, I want to throw a bunch of money into it, and I don't even want to look at it. I just want it to go forever. You could do that one. At least when you're doing the other ones, like the grid one that we're going to talk about, you do have to kind of monitor it a little bit because the range that you're setting. If it goes out of that range, it'll pause. And it's not a bad thing because you're still going to own your TXC. But so we're all in grid trading bot. This is the most popular one. This is the one that I think everybody should have at least one running on. Um, Not financial advice, just my opinion. So when you're setting your lower limit and your upper limit, you always have to do, if you're doing a decimal, you have to do the zero first. It's just their kind of random software issue. I don't know why they don't let you just do decimal, but make sure you do the zero first. And we saw that the price hit that 55 cent range and then bounced up. If you're doing a narrower range, because you're only going to do like a smaller grid count, let's be close to that. So we'll do 0.52, and you can do all the decimals you want to do if you have like a lucky number that you want to put on the tail end of it or whatever. And then a little nugget. I don't know if anybody heard, but for ISK, you can use your TXC to purchase your seat on that, and it is offered at a $1 value. And if that doesn't tell you that Bobby and everybody really believes that TXC is deeply undervalued right now, that should be a pretty good nudge. So, in my opinion, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are trying to get into ISK, and they're going to run in and buy TXC at 61 cents or 62 cents or even 75 cents or 90 cents. It's a discount to them to be able to then use that money to get on the ISK and get into their seat for that. So I'm going to set my upper for over that because I think it's going to get there very quickly. But let's just do 1.02. And so now this is the grids. Grids are the orders. So as soon as you set this up, it's going to immediately go in and buy TXC. It's going to save a little percent for to buy more if it does come down from this price, but your initial purchase is buying TXC. So whatever the price is now, you got to think that that's going to be your starting point, because if it goes below this, technically your bot's going to probably be down, but you're buying more coins on the way down. It's just nice that if it can go up first and then come back down for profit. But kind of like a minimum, I wouldn't go under 10. You won't see much action. But if you did say 10, you can see right here on the total investment bar, 17.72 is the minimum that you need to get into that. The max is because that's my balance. You could put as much as you want into it. And then you're going to see this, the profit per grid after their fee is deducted. What's really cool about Pinex and Weebot is to trade with them is only a 0.2% fee per trade, per transaction. If you want to compare that to Bitmart, they are 0.6% per fee per transaction. So using Pinex or Weebot, you're getting lower fees. And then if you use the GridBot, they're going to put a little extra fee on it for them placing the orders for you automatically, but you're still less than the other ones. I think MEXC is 0.4, Biconomy is 0.4, and they're considered low, but Pinex is still cheaper. So really cool that it doesn't cost you anything and it's going to go trade for you and do action, so you don't have to watch this. But again, circle back. 10 grids is kind of my minimum that I would tell you to go to. And if you went up to 100, because you wanted to make a lot of transactions, that's great. But you got to come in with more money. You got to come in with 150.14. And if you were going to do this one, I would suggest doing a little bit wider price range, just to be able to spread some of those orders out so you're not tripping over yourself. But let's just do 0.08. And you can see that it goes up a little bit. So 155 basically is your minimum. So that's just something to think of to do more. And there's not really a, hey, if you don't do at least 40 grids, you're not doing anything. Everything is helping. Your $20, your $200, your $2,000, every part is helping because it's filling up the order book. And so now when people come in, those transactions can be completed without moving the price around like crazy and and driving it into something absurd. But so again, 15 is a good one that I would recommend. I know I said 10 minimum, but 15 is a good one. Then you could do 30. For 30, you need at least $48.70. So basically $50 to do 30. If you do 60, the 60 to 80 is kind of a sweet spot that I've seen kind of the best action with TXC's price ranges on these. So 60 to 90 has kind of been my favorite little range, and you need about $140 to do those. We'll see mine down here, and I'll go over some details while you guys are all setting those up if you want. And then I'll come in and kind of try to give you guys a little push up in profit. Uh-oh. There we go. So once you set up a bot, you can come in here and it'll show you your running bots. I have two right now. I have one at 50 grids, one at 75 grids. This one's been running for 4 days and 17 hours. It's done 145 transactions right here in the parentheses. In the last 24 hours, it's only done 5. My total profit, I've made $28.71, which is a 4% profit on my $652.95 that I started it with. What I'm holding is the TXC. I currently have 845.5 TXC. Based on the current price and where I bought it at 0.58, I'm up 5.8%. This is the transaction profit, and this is my holding profit. Combining this and simulating it based on what if this 4 days if this 4 days played out for a whole year, I'm looking at 338% profit on this. Current price, pretty self-explanatory. This is the range that I set on this one. And then I'm reinvesting. So we'll show the reinvesting part real fast. And you can click over here, like off to the side of them like this, to go back and forth between them and see the info on them. But we're going to look at my one that's making money because everybody likes seeing green more than red. So you get a quick little overview, and Pinex will be slightly different, but not too far. And I'll go into Pinex, and if anybody needs me to kind of show that, but I'm just going to go through WeBot seamlessly first, and then I'll bounce in and out, and I'll show Pinex here in a second because you can sign into either one. It doesn't matter as long as you have an account. But gives you the basic overview. Your 822 TXC that I have, and then this is the USDT that's sitting on the sideline ready to order. These are those grids that it shows. I have this set up for 50 grids. You can see I have 13 buys and what is that, 36 sells right now. Because I'm predominantly holding TXC because the prices kind of came down back recently, which has triggered me to have more buys filled. So now that you can see this is where I'm at price-wise, and we were watching it. This is getting close to filling my sell order, and it would have to go this way to fill my buy order. Well, you guys are pushing the price up pretty good. Is that you, Corey? Better chill out, dude. And so what's kind of cool is as these sell at when we hit 64.20, see if you guys could get it up there. If we could get it to 64.28, what will happen is this cell will fill and it'll automatically add another buy at a lower price, kind of in here, some probably up here above this one. Oh, you guys are so close. But that's what they're doing. The automatic trading part of these bots is you start with this. You start with your initial position. You start selling some. As it sells, then it buys. So we should be filling my sell. 60. Good job. And so now I have 14 buys. That's a really good example. I appreciate you guys pushing that up to do that. So that's where the automation of this is. As long as the price is in between between 50 cents and $1, I don't have to do anything. This is going to could go forever if it stayed in that price range. And I can come in here if I want to add more money because you guys are doing. I like this one. Just boop, add more money. Here's all my completed transactions. Surprised it hasn't ticked that one up yet. But average transactions a day has been 29 transactions a day. And you can kind of go through. You can see that my buy was at 63.26. My sell was at 64.28. And that's the profit that I made on that one. And you can go through all of these and see. So this one, you can see the difference. So 14.3, and I made, what is that? About 24 cents, and the fee was 1 penny for them doing that for me. Very sweet of them. And then the other tab that you check is your parameters. It gives you that this is the optimal condition is you want that fluctuating price. You don't want the price to be straight across, up and down. It can go down is totally fine and you'll still be okay. You just want the price to be moving. And that's what's appealing to outside money again, is that they want the price to be moving. Stagnation is a terminal market, but we're getting about 0.8% per grid, 1.8%. So I don't set a take profit because that would be selling my whole position. If it triggered a price, I would sell. Maybe 2 years in the future, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I really want to get some profit when TXC is $8 or $10 or whatever, and I'll let my bot run up to it. I can do that. A stop loss is if the price was to go down, you want to sell it before it goes down anymore to make sure that you preserve your capital. I think we're at the bottom. I don't see the real need for that, especially if you're trying to hold TXE for the long term. All you have to let it do in this price range is pause. If the price goes down too far out of your comfort zone, just pause the bot. But the one thing that I strongly recommend, especially now, is this reinvest tab. Reinvest profits. It's under parameters. Reinvest. It doesn't start this way. And when you start it, you will always gain your profit in USDT, and build up your little profit pool. But it'll keep your original allocated balance. So if you put $100 and it all of a sudden has made you $20 of profit, that $20 is kind of sitting on the sideline, not doing anything. If you click the reinvest tab, it puts that extra $20 and adds to your transaction pool. And it does it every 24 hours. So like right now, mine is set to do it at 8:05. If I unclick it and then I say click, now 9:42. I'm on the West Coast, if it's confusing you guys. Is now when my profits are going to be reinvested. So that's where that is. Let's go look at, just so you guys can see it on pinex.us. So we can see this too. Okay, go away. Of course I haven't. Can I skip that for now? I just want to show stuff. So here's your Pinex version. Again, very similar. Bot, manual, convert. These are all the different bots. They have cool little icons for you. We'll get into those. I'm doing this every week, so I'll make sure that I get into these other ones so everybody has a good understanding of all of them. But the one that we're kind of looking for now is this. I don't want to. Okay, well, of course I have to set one up. Don't send me any spam. I'm not typing. Corey, dropping the ball, dude. You're supposed to help me out. Had this email forever. Should just. I don't even know my password. I don't. Authorized by my Google authenticator. Sorry, guys. It's a pain in the butt doing all these different authenticators. 769-648. Oh, I said by 769-648. Fast. All right. on Pinex, same thing. You could around. This is on Bitcoin. We don't want to look at Bitcoin. We like TXC. We're here to party. All right, GridBot, create, same thing. Make sure you do your decimal, 0.5, upper limit 1, grid count. So you did 50, that's $80. You can do this little slider bar, or you can enter the amount that you want. And then same thing, when you have your bots existing, they're down here in this section. You can go to share if you want to brag, tell your friends about how much money you're making with it, and send them a cool little link. Or if you want to share the parameters and be like, hey, just copy this, put it in so you don't have to worry about it. Again, here's your layout of what they are. Oh, and they did update it. I think they used to not have overview. But here you go to share with a poster or a link. More, this is if you want to edit your price range. Release the profits if you want to get the USDT out. You can name it so that you know what it was. You can like maybe date it so you can keep familiar of how long you've been running it. Manually pause or stop. If you just want to do weekly, say you want to put $20 in a week, come over here and that's where you would do that. You'd add investment. Sometimes when you change the parameters on it, it might require you to add more money if you maxed out that bot when you started it. And if you change the scope of things, you might have to add money to when you change the parameters. So just be wary of that. The same thing, placed orders, showing us what we got. Transactions completed, slightly different, just a very subtle different layout, not much. Here's all your parameters and the reinvest. So that's a quick little rundown. I think WeBot and Pinex are pretty awesome for offering that for free. And it's the perfect tool right now for TXC. It's exactly what it needs, is that consistent volume and participation in the markets. Because if you look at these projects, one of the things that people compare to is the volume. And the volume of TXC is only 0.6% of its market cap. And a lot of that came up is because the price has gone down. Our volume is very small, but 0.6. If you want to look at some of the big boys, our biggest kid on the block right now, 4.3% a day. So every single day, Bitcoin's market cap, 4% of it is traded, bought and sold every day. We're only at 0.6. So we're a tenth of the way to where we want to be, a fifth of the way to where we want to be. The volume needs to drastically increase. I am gonna see if we can't open this up for questions. If anybody had any, I don't know if anybody was raising their hands. I haven't gone through the chat. No. I could scroll through the chat real quick right now. Brendan, the road to 16, the path to 16. Unfortunately, a lot of people read that. I'll get to you guys with the hands up. Let me just get a couple of these real quick. It was written with two things. If a certain amount of sales happened, there would be enough liquidity available to try to support a price. And that's what was said from day one. But the only thing people saw on the page and heard was, on February, it's going to be $16 and I'm rich. And that's not even close to what was sold or marketed. But unfortunately, that's kind of how it was kind of pitched to some people, and unfortunately, that was tough to go. So let's go through and get some of these people who got their hands up. It looks like I got Phyllis first. I could see if I can unmute you.
Hi, Lonnie. Can you hear me?
Hey, Phyllis. I hear you.
Good. Thank you for doing this. I sent you a message yesterday. I have two bots that were set up back in December when the price was in the $2 range. And they are not doing anything right now with the price being where it is. So I'm just asking, I wonder if we could take a look at them or see what I should do with them. Do I just leave them and wait for the price to come back up, or what?
I mean, that's gonna be on you. If you want to participate with it and get the activity going, then yeah, you want to get them moving again. So we want to edit those parameters and lower it into a price range to where we're active. I talked about like zero point 0.5 or 0.52, kind of in that range as your lower limit. And then the
Hmm.
upper limit, we're probably going to see a lot of resistance at one. Um, but there should also be a quick move to one with the ISK being worth $1. Um,
Hmm.
and so there's reason to have your upper range at least one or over one currently right now. But yeah, if did you see how to edit how to edit it? Are you on Pionex or Weebot?
Hi, next. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Let me make sure I could do that. Do I have to give you permission? You should be able to.
There's
Uh,
only host can share.
Corey, can we fix that? Um, Meeting. Oops, not that one. More. Go away. All these edits. Let's see. Host tools. There you go. Should be able to now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I have two. So they say, of course, current profit minus. So is there, I understand that it's lost in value, but it doesn't really lose until I sell. Is that a true
Yeah,
statement?
that just means that from when you bought, I mean, we set those up back when it was like what 215 or something. So your
Mm-hmm.
initial buy came in and um was so you own a majority of your coins, 80% of whatever you started that with was buying coins at $2. I had a bunch of bots at 380 and 330 that were deep red. And I just ended up restarting them completely because I was messing with different grids, different parameters, trying to learn to make sure that when I came in and I started telling people about it, um, I could have some experience and give some good information. Um, so you can you can just edit your parameters though is way simpler than canceling it, restarting it. Um, and then you just change your range down to the lower and upper to where we're at.
Okay. Which one do I do?
So
Edit parameter?
yeah, your screen's not showing. Um,
Okay. Let me look at it again.
because are you on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was on my computer, but they're doing something with my internet. So I had to
of course.
jump on the phone.
So and you're on TXC, right? Oh, there you go. Boom. So
You see
over
it
on,
now?
I see it. So you have
Okay.
Pinex up and click on whichever one you want to do and hit the edit stop tab.
Edit parameters.
Uh, does yours? Oh,
Did it
I don't know
stop?
where you're clicking. There you go. Edit stop. Yep. And then we want to click on the edit parameters in the middle on the left.
Okay. Yeah, I'm there. It's apparently there's a delay, but I am at edit
Oh, okay.
parameters.
You're fast. So for your lower limit, let's do 0.5. That means that it'll go down to 50 cents now.
Okay.
Oh, here I should be. And then for your upper limit, let's do you since you did 7.1, let's do 1 point, let's just do 1.01.
0.01.
And that was a 12 grid one, so that's okay. And then hit next step. And then confirm. Editing, boom. So you're active again. And um, and you want to do the other one too?
Where does it? So okay, yeah, I see it. It's already started. Some
Yep,
buys.
and it's moving.
Okay, yeah, let's do the other one.
Bringing your average. And so this one you did 100 grid. So we're gonna do a wider price range instead of that 50 cent to $1. We're gonna do it a little bit wider. So on your lower, let's do 0.48. And then for your upper, let's do like 1.08.
1.08.
Yep. And then done. And the next step. It's cool we did it this way. We didn't, oh, so you need to add a little bit more. Let's see if so go back, hit OK. Let's edit that one more time. Um, and what we're going to do is do the same price range, 0.48 and then 1.08. And then for the grids, let's lower it down to 75. And then hit done. And next step, it still wants you to invest more money on that one.
I mean, I can add some more money, so
Oh yeah,
it's
so for that one, that's what I would do is I would do either keep 100 grids or do 75 grids, change it to that price range, and then but you're gonna have to add. Oh no, it says you have it. Hit add. You do have it in there. Perfect. Confirm.
so it just took it from my wallet and put it in the
But
bot.
you had the USDT in there, so you were already good.
Okay. So it just did one. Okay, there we go. Wow, that's a difference.
Yeah. So now
Okay.
that one's active again. That'll be nice. So you are rolling now. You're back to being a participant.
All righty then. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's get Jeffrey.
Hey, Lonnie.
Hey Jeff.
The question, I got a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay, I'm on the same page that the last lady was uh, showing my grid trading,
Mm-hmm.
and it says investment. You got a certain amount of money there, and then the profit is never in green.
Yeah.
How do you get it to green? Does it ever go to green?
So it'll go. So again, it requires the price to go up. So depending when you started it, if you started, were you part of Thomas Dubois' group when we started it back in December,
Yeah,
or did you
this
start
one
recently?
here has been active for 24 days, and the other one is 31 days.
Yeah. So unfortunately, our price is down from back then. And the nice part about these bots is that they're forever averaging down. So as long as the price is kind of moving up and down, you might be red right now, but you're red because the price is down. You initially jumped in and you got a whole bunch of coins. So say you bought a whole bunch at like 90 cents. 80
Right,
percent of whatever. Say you put $100 in, you put $80 of that, you bought the coin at 90 cents. So your holding is going to be down. But as it's moving up and down and it's completing those transactions, you're accumulating more coins. So when you started with 90 or what would that be, 110 coins or whatever, by the time that it gets back up to green, you should have accumulated more coins because it's forever selling at a higher price and then immediately buying lower. So every time it buys lower, it buys more. So
right.
as each transaction starts with two, then it goes to 2.1 and then 2.3 and 2.4. So by the time the price gets up, not only are you going to be up positively based on it being up from price, but now you've accumulated more coins also. So now you're kind of like double green. So it will get green. Unfortunately, you just started it at a time where price was higher than what we are now. We can't force the price to be up to make the bots. The bots can't do anything if the price keeps going down other than keep averaging down.
Okay, so second question.
Sure.
Um, how do I, and I think I got to figure it out, how do I've got 118 Texacoin I want to move to my cold storage wallet. Is there a way to move it to the cold storage wallet that's attached to mine TXC?
Yeah. So when you're doing that, you go into your wallet. Here, let me see it.
Send crypto.
Send crypto, and then you pick which one you want to send.
my account is for its safety
Yeah,
has been closed until after 10:59. It's 11, so I guess should be all right.
that's weird.
You want can
Oh, did you stall out from leaving it
it says
not active?
I'm using a different IP address, but I got two screens,
Oh, gotcha.
so that it's just up on a different screen, I guess.
Well,
So
when you're going to go into the send crypto part, and then you'll make sure that on the drop down arrow that it's TXC that you're trying to send. It'll tell you how much
okay,
it'll tell you how much you have available, your total balance, your 24-hour limit. There's a transaction fee of zero point 0.1 TXC.
okay,
Are you seeing that?
yeah, yeah.
So for
Um,
the address that you're putting in, you'll get that address from your cold storage wallet, and you'll put that in there, and then you put how
that
much
would
you want to
be
send.
no, that address is in my back office.
Yeah.
At my TXC, and it
Yep.
would be uh the coin,
TXC. Yep.
not the payment.
Well, the payment if you took your payment address in TXC, it would be the same. It should be
Oh,
the
same
same.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get it. All
Perfect.
right. That's way cool because I wanted to move some over. I'm getting ready. Do you have any idea when the new coins, the ones with the different faces, are going to be available? Have you got any insight on that?
On the ISK,
No, no, no,
the
no.
Iskander coin.
No, no, no.
Oh,
On
you're
you
talking about
remember they had
the
five or
coin
six
design? Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah. I saw that they had them in. I'm assuming that it's mostly kind of like organizing them through. I thought Bobby said he had like 10,000 of each one. So he's got a lot to go through on those. But I haven't heard any date or timeline on that. Corey, have you heard anything on those? Corey's
Corey.
probably mid coffee drink. Corey might have better insight on that.
Hey, sorry, I just hung up the phone. What was the question?
You know how they did all those custom designed, unique coin entries for TXC, and they were going to be offered as possible cold storage wallets or just
Yes.
available to purchase. Have you heard anything on a timeline on them being available?
No, the last I heard was probably a couple weeks ago that it was in the works, but it could have been put on delay because of all the happenings. So I'll
Okay.
try to get an update for you.
Ranger Steve Walsh, my pops is
Yeah,
saying that they
yeah.
will be available as soon as the Shop TXC website is available. So they're probably there and they're ready. They just want to make sure that they have a good way of doing the transaction for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the end of my questions. Thanks for what you
Oh,
do. It really helped me out. I
oh, you
appreciate
bet.
it.
You bet. Let's get Timothy on. Oh, bam.
Hey, Lonnie, how you doing?
Good. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Okay, I'm new to the bot. I was
Perfect.
not uh there in December when you first set one up, so I'm
Good.
trying to
You could
learn
have
how to
started
set one
at the
up.
bottom. We're gonna set you up at a lower price so you can get some profit.
Okay, how do I set this thing up?
Okay. So do you already have your account on WeBot or Pionex?
Yes, on Pionex.
Pionex. Okay. I'll go to Pionex too, so I follow with you. Uh, so you are gonna click over on the top tab when you see like
Wait,
the
wait, I gotta open it up.
sure, sure, sure. Are you on your phone or are you on the computer?
I'm on my phone. Which would you prefer that I do it
Either
on?
way, I'll just make sure that I'm looking the same way you're looking. It's very similar, but I just want to make sure that I follow the same steps as you. So I got my phone too. Um, we bought app, of course. It should be the same. So are you all ready? Oh, you got muted again. Oh, try one more time. Tim, you got muted again.
You there?
There you are.
I'm logging in right now. 19.
Oh, gotcha. That's probably what keeps muting you or kicked you out. this is being recorded, and I'll have it on there too. So if you do need to check again, I'll have it out there for everybody. But we will. But I'll walk you through it step by step again.
Okay. I'm going to try to do this on my computer.
Okay.
So do I have to download the app on my computer?
No, you could just go to either pionex.us or webot.com. Either one.
Okay. Let's see. Pionex login. Okay. Pionex US. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Enable authentication. Next, SMS authentication. Put my phone number in. Let's see here.
I'm gonna set one up too, so we get everybody in profit.
Okay, next.
So you're all logged in?
I'm getting there.
You're good.
Let's see here. Let's see. Please input at the SMS sent to your phone. Okay. Let's see here.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was on. Do we want to move to someone else and then circle back to Tim maybe?
Sure. Somebody else.
Once he gets,
their hand up?
I'll work with Tim offline.
Okay, please do. Please do.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. All right. So here I'm going to set one more up, Tim, and this way you can kind of see me do it too. So we got trade right here at the top, trading bot. Bring that up. A lot of times it'll default to Bitcoin. Mine knows that I like TXC the most, so it does go into TXC. One more time, go into grid. Trading bot is the one we're using. Create. I'm going to set my own parameters. I'm even going to be a little bit more ambitious and say that we're not going under 0.55. And I'll do 1.05. And I'm going to do 100 grids. And I'm going to do my full 994. So as you can see, it's going to immediately start. It's somewhere between 80 and 85. It kind of varies depending on the amount of grids you're doing and the amount of money that you're doing it, but it's typically in this range. So I'm buying all these at 64.33 is going to be my start price. And then it's going to have that 17% available to average down. One thing that I do recommend for people is if you are able to bring in more to the table and you want to do multiple, if you're able to do two like Phyllis did, where she has one at 12 and one at 100, start your lower grid first. Start your 12 grid, your 15 grid, or your 30 grid, whatever one you want to do. Start that one first, and then let it fill out all the orders and let it sit. If you try to set up two at the same time, the system will freak out and tell you you're probably trying to manipulate the market or whatever, and it won't let you. So set your bot, let it sit out for a little bit and balance out its orders once it's 100% set. Then coming on your second time with your bigger one, that higher grid is nice because it will accumulate more coins and will facilitate more orders. The lower grid is going to have a bigger gap in between orders, but that bigger grid will push your first one into a transaction. So we come in here, and once it's set, we go into details because we want to see it. And you can see that I'm still buying, still pushing. I hope you guys are all seeing green on your screen because that's all we're here for, right? We all want to make some profit. And once it's set is when I'm going to set that auto reinvest because I want to make sure that it's accumulating more coins. Like I said, this one over here, 29.12 USDT. If we divide that by math real quick, 29.12 times 0.6 is the price. Nope, divided by 29.12 0.6, because that's the price of TXC. That's 48.53 TXC that I've accumulated with this bot running for 4 days. 48.5, if that was 0.4 coins a day, is 121 days or 4 months. So 4 days of this bot running accumulated me 4 months worth of mining. So that's what kind of a cool feature, cool thing. Nice to get these guys in profit and going. So I'll have a 50, a 75, and a 100 grid running. Let's see. At the same time. I think as more people find out that they're going to see that you can buy TXC for 60 something cents and then go use it at a dollar value to get your ISK. Anybody who's coming on for ISK is going to all run into the market and buy this first. So I think we're going to see a pretty strong push for the price to come up here. Guys aren't letting me buy my coins. Any other questions we got going? I know we're a little over an hour. And I don't want to miss anybody. This will be recorded. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel. ChartsNLabs, if you search me, I day trade. I day trade in here. Oh, my thing sold. Oh, no, I canceled it. That's what happened. Oh, cool. It is over my sell price. Make some money real quick. Hold on. 3 review order. So tomorrow I can go buy more TXC now. Oh, and it moved. Better fill my order. Good. Sold. No, it doesn't need. Oh, might as well do this one too. We'll make this one be done too. And 13. Sure. Submit. Done. Cool. And then, so now you guys, not only did you guys see a sneak peek of my video for my day trading, I got $375 of TXC that I'm going to buy tomorrow. Cool. Thank you. Helpful. Cool. Thank you, Corey, for doing all that you did on this on the side. I know you're making phone calls and being cool, but hope that helped everybody. Any last final questions? Anybody need to see one real quick? Jeff is back. Jeff. Unmute yourself, Jeff. Oh, there you go. Oh,
So
there you are.
I'm trying to transfer some TXC to my cold storage wallet. I've got everything
Gotcha.
in place, but now it wants to take my picture, wants other verification.
Oh, yes.
Is that normal?
That's normal. So Pinex and Biconomy and WeX, these guys that are US friendly, to follow all the US compliances, they require the two-face authentication. They do that driver's license, and then they want you to do the little take your picture, look to the left, look to the right, and turn a circle. That's all usual. It's just safety protocol protecting you, which is a little bit of an inconvenience, but at the same time, it's also nice to think that you're not gonna. It's gonna be a lot more difficult for somebody to hack into your account without using your face.
Okay, that's what I was hoping to hear. So thank you.
You bet. Good volume today, guys. Look at that. We spiked the price pretty good. We went over $2,000. Oh, I mean, I was half of that. But you guys did good too. Oh no, this one was me. I was 1,000. You guys did 2,000. You guys beat me. So very cool to see. And all these bots are green and everybody's running before I lose my ability to reinvest my profits. This guy's still buying. Good question. Can you please show me the reinvest? Yes, Adid. If you click on which one it is, make sure you're highlighted. So you have the blue line here, and you'll go through that. It's over here on your extra section, overview, placed orders, transactions, parameters, reinvest profits right here. Whatever time you click on is when it's going to do it. It'll do it every 24 hours on whatever time you click it. So as soon as you set it, it'll do it again. So as soon as this guy's done, I'm going to make sure I do that. I guess I had to buy a lot of TXC. Trade, spot trading. Like that candle though. Good job, guys. This is cool to see the community wanting to participate. You know, we can't rely on, you know, Bobby to continue to push in the liquidity. At some point, the community has to provide the liquidity itself to push this up, because what this is going to do is this is going to show people that it's bottomed, and you're going to see people coming out from the outside, people who are Bitcoin rich and Ethereum rich and Litecoin rich, and they're going to be like, oh, that's the bottom of TXC. Oh, downtown digital dollar, they got their utility. That thing is valuable now. It's going up. And then they come in with their profits from their projects that went through this same cycle and did this. And now they come in, and that outside liquidity is how the early people are allowed to come in. Sandra's got her hand up. I think I got you, Sandra. Oh,
Hi,
Jeff
yes.
again.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Sandra.
Thank you. Hi. I just want to
Oh,
know
you
what's
bet.
the name of your YouTube channel again?
Oh, it's right here. It is. Can you guys see my screen? You have to look at my dogs every now and then. ChartsNLabs.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. Thank you.
So I do a bunch of day trading stuff. I'll go talk about other crypto projects. I've shown kind of the life cycle and stuff gone through the lingo that you're looking for when you're talking about these guys. I did the centralized versus decentralized, permission versus permissionless, introduction to all these guys. And then if you like dogs, my dogs do all the shorts. Their characters. So that's that. Hey, Jeff, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you. I
Oh,
did
you
the
bet.
picture thing and everything went successful. I transferred that right to my cold storage coin, and now I'm happy.
Beautiful. Glad
Appreciate
to
it.
hear it, Jeff.
Thank
You
you.
bet. Such value. You guys are good, perfect, awesome, cool. We're reinvesting at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll throw all my profits from this one in and more. And cool thing is that we push the price up on one exchange. We're able to do that on Pionex or WeBot. What happens is you're going to probably see the price run up, and everybody's going to get jealous that our price is higher than the rest of the exchanges, and you'll see arbitrage. What arbitrage is, we could get deeper into that, but all the exchanges have these kind of bots running, and market makers facilitating. So what they'll do is they'll buy their coin up, take it over to Pionex, and sell it on this exchange, which will push our price down. So don't get defeated when you see that we're not 66 cents anymore and we're back down to 63 cents. If anything, thank them for doing that, because your bot now is going to be able to complete that transaction and sell, and then go back and buy more. So they're helping you out. If the price goes straight up or straight down, the bots don't benefit the most. You want to have it go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, ideally, because that's how you get more coins. And if you're trying to hold a bigger coin purse, that is your accumulation. And if you can beat your mining output, this is a great way that $100 could actually outpace $1,000 in mining and that daily distribution thing. So before we get crazy too long, this one's already been hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to cut it off at that so people don't fall asleep when they're watching it the second time. And we'll be back next Friday. I might try the afternoon next Friday just to see if we could get a different level of different crowd and give them the same opportunity. And then we'll see which one works better, or which one everyone likes. And I can be flexible on my timing, but I'll see you guys again next week. Thank you, guys.